Hello. High school is an experience pretty much everybody goes through once in their lifetime. Either they have gone through it in the past, they are currently going through high school, or they will go through high school in the future. And high school has a lot of positive experiences throughout it, like making friends, playing sports, music, art, theater, and it also has some negative experiences like the amount of workload and stress from school and homework, of course. And because of this, a lot of students suffer from mental illnesses. Um, Article by NPR, which is called Mental Health in Schools, a Hidden Crisis Affecting Millions of Students, which was written in 2016, says that 1 in 5 kids in America suffer from some sort of mental illnesses, and 80% of those students have no resources available to them to help them out with that. And it also talks about how schools are not prepared to help out students who are suffering from mental illnesses or just stress in general. And the CDC also did a study called Project to Learn About Youth Mental Health, where they surveyed 4 districts for 4 years from 2014 to 2018, and they found that 1 in 6 kids had enough symptoms to be diagnosed with some sort of mental illness, and 1 in 3 students were at very high risk to be um, to to be diagnosed with a mental illness. So this year I also did a little study of my own where I conducted a survey for high school students in my area, and I of course did not have as much data as the other studies, but from my study I found that about all the students I surveyed said I got 100% of them said they were stressed, while 43% said that they were sometimes stressed from school, and 56% of them said that yes, they were just stressed in general from school. And I also asked about mental illnesses. While 39% of students said they maybe had a mental illness, only 5% said that they had definitely had a mental illness, and 56% said no, they did not have mental illnesses. While the majority did say that no, they didn't have a mental illnesses, there is still a big percentage of students that said they maybe had a mental illnesses and they don't know whether or not they have mental illness. So I also asked about if there were resources available for those students who thought that they maybe were suffering or they did suffer, and 51% of them said that no, they had no resources at all, and 48% said that they had some sort of resource. And I also asked those 48% if what they thought about those resources, whether they were effective or not. And the majority of my response I got was that no, it was not effective. While it was important, it wasn't enough resources for all those students. Some students said they didn't even know whether their school provided any resources or not. Some students said they had a hard time getting access to those resources, and some students just said that they needed more resources to help deal with their problems. And additionally, I also asked about mental health education in their school. So 29% of students said that they did not have any education for mental health at all in their school. 26% said they had a rare amount of education. 31% of students weren't sure whether or not their schools gave any education, and only 12% of students said that yes, they received some sort of education for mental health. So this is something I believe that should be changed in schools. The schools offer education for physical health through PE, and they also offer a general health class where you learn about eating healthy, drugs, what type of drugs and how to avoid them, alcohol, and for physical education, how to stay healthy by exercising, and the different sort of exercises you should maintain. So just like physical health is important for students, mental health is also very important to students for maintaining. So if students are educated about mental health, the different sorts of mental illnesses there are, and the symptoms, that can help them figure out what kind of problems they may be having, how to deal with them, or just having mental health education on how to stay mentally healthy is also important, because that is a skill, a lifelong skill students need to know. Even if they're not suffering from any mental illness, they should know how to keep themselves mentally healthy, which can ensure that they don't, in the future, they don't have to suffer from any sort of mental illness. And additionally, there also needs to be more resources in school. There are problems with funding and such, which can make, and different sorts of schools do not always have access to all sorts of resources they can give available to students, but schools can try to find outside resources and make them available to students, and just make students more aware of the resources that are available to them in general, which can also greatly improve students' mental health. And once students' mental health is improved, then that will just overall improve that person's performance in school, which is just good for the school and good for them in general as well. So it's very important that students are helped while they're struggling with all these mental health issues in school, and they get all the resources they need to be healthy physically and mentally as well.